This is an old Lockwood. This is a challenge lock from Joe up in New York. It is 7 pins, and he's got some pretty evil looking pinning on there. The only thing I've done to this lock is I squirted a little bit of secret sauce up inside of there to give us half a chance. It's still pretty stiff. The key doesn't like to work. It will work if you just jiggle it a little bit. There we go. So no telling what kind of evilness he's put up inside of here, but we're going to try to get into it without the key. I'm going to try to use my brand new pan of ice. One of my subscribers saw me struggling trying to fit these odd size locks into the other one, and let me back up a little bit to show you what this thing looks like. Just awesome. You can fit anything in there, even full-size house locks. But right now we are going to try to work on this Lockwood. Alright, here we go, and I will try. It's a pretty wide open keyway, but it does have a little bit of warding, so I'm going to start off with a 15 thousandths to try to get around it. May as well try clockwise, and all the way to the rear. Try a little tension. See what we got going. Okay, pin 1. Okay, got him set. Okay, that was 1 in the rear. I don't know if that was 6 or 7, but I got a click on him when I touched him. It was 2. It was 5. It's like 1 again. Maybe not. It might be the warding. Okay, that was 3. I got a little turn on the core, very slight. Okay, now I got a good fault set going. That was on pin 3. Can't get on pin 1 very well. I'm getting some feedback off of him. Yeah, I think I got him that time. Back to the rear. This is definitely not a stock Lockwood. This is probably a 30 or 40-year-old cylinder, so I'm sure it's been repinned. It's acting pretty crunchy in there, so I would bet we have some threaded cylinders or threaded chambers. I'm on pin 3. Very slight. I think I lost my fault set. What I'm going to do whenever I lose a fault set, I probably overset something, so I'm going to light tension. I'm just going to kind of rake those pins. Maybe we can rake that. There we go. Doesn't always work, but sometimes you can rake him back down and get another shot at him. If we can just figure out who he was. No, oh, there was counter rotation on 4. Okay, we've won again. Oh, there we go. Our fault setback. That's a good thing. Alright, I'm going to swap picks. I'm going to go to a reach or DeForest diamond because I think I'm not having a good enough angle on this front couple of pins. There we go. That's pin 1. I'm getting a little bit of counter rotation on him. But he doesn't want to quite go. Okay, let's keep looking. The further back you go with this reach, the more he gets caught up in the warding, though. That's the downside. Okay, I'm 1. Okay, I think we got him that time, but we lost our fault set again. Let's do the little raking trick. We can get lucky twice on this lock. More than lucky, we just got him open. The tail piece is caught, but get that out of the way. Did open. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at another new toy. I do have the key, so I'm not too worried. So I'm going to go ahead and take my new toy. This is a brand, let me set that lock there for a moment. A brand new pinning tray. Isn't this friggin' fantastic? This is made by Derek. He lives in Taiwan, and he looked at the old pinning tray, the one that we made out of the cutting board, And just taking dimensions from what he saw on the internet, he's got a business that works in this acrylic material. He had one machined out. Just beautiful. Even got the lock tube logo there. Very nice. And he made an improvement. So this is the A2 version. He put a little slot here for the core so it doesn't have to roll around like it does in mine. Anyway, pretty cool stuff. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. I'll put his email on the bottom if maybe you guys can convince him to make one for you if you like. All right. These were pretty loose in there. Okay. Sorry for the sniffling. I'm getting over the flu. Can you believe that? Spring flu. Okay, let me back this up a bit and start dumping these. I'm looking at chamber number 1 is threaded, chamber number 4 is threaded. And that looks to be about it. There's all 6. Yeah, 1 and 4 are the only ones that have been modified. Wow, that one's just barely hanging in there. He just barely. What a weak spring. Got him to come out, but it's a spool. Another pretty weak spring. Another homemade serrated / spool looking thing. That one had a good spring. This is looks like a spool. Let me turn that off. Sorry about that, fellas. Probably a sales call anyway, since I don't have any friends. Standard. A weird looking, almost like a T-pin, but homemade. And a homemade spool, and that's it. You can look down in there, there are different types of springs. We got a couple of them sticking way up, and most of them are down below the shear line. So very weak springs mixed in with some pretty strong springs made this a little bit of a challenge. Many of the key pins are serrated. So let's take a look at what we got here. Alright, all of this is a homemade, I guess it's designed to get caught up at pin number, or chamber number 1 was threaded, so those would get caught up pretty well. Inside of here, this is serrated, but there was nothing to get caught up other than the shear line itself. Same with this one. We had a spool with some serrations on the key pin, but it didn't make any difference. This one had serrated on the key pin, and it also had a threaded chamber. And these other two were not threaded, so we wouldn't have that big of a challenge. But anyway, a Lockwood. This is definitely not the way Lockwood put them out. This was a lot more difficult to pick than standard Lockwood. Anyway, fellas, thanks for your time. Stay safe, stay legal. Derek, thank you so much. Oh, I should have put the core where it belongs. It's bad habits. And Joe from New York, thank you, sir, for the lock.